Nothing but the truth now. Nothing but the proof of what I am. The worst of what I came from. Patterns I'm ashamed of. Things that even I don't understand. I tried to fix it. I tried to fight it. My head was twisted. My heart divided. My lies all collided. I don't know why I didn't trust you to be on my side. I broke into a million pieces and I can't go back, but now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The sky's a part of me, darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like. That's right, guys, we are talking about K-pop Demon Hunters today, which came out last year in 2025 and it broke the whole internet. I mean, people are singing the songs everywhere. Even now, you will hear Golden on the radio. Reminds me of when Frozen 1 came out and everybody was just, the song just blew up mostly because of the music. Although, I mean, the story was okay, but like, same with this one. But let's just get right into it. I like this movie, so let's just get right into my review. Alright guys, firstly, I am going to list all the characters you will need to know for this video. Firstly is Rumi, and also I apologize if I mispronounce any of the actors' names. You know, I don't generally see these a lot in the US, but I will try my best. Like I said, firstly is Rumi, voiced by Arden Cho. Mira, voiced by Mei Hong. Zoe is voiced by Ji Young Yu. I am so sorry if I'm mispronouncing these. I'm probably butchering these, honestly. Jinu is voiced by An Hyos. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for probably mispronouncing these, but I am listening to characters. Gima is voiced by Lee Byung-hun. Abby is voiced by Jungwon Cho. Romance is voiced by Joel Kim Booster. Oh, finally a name I can pronounce. That's fine. Mystery is voiced by Alan Lee. I could not find a voice actor for Baby Saja. I could only find his singing voice. But Bobby is voiced by Ken Jeong. And Celine is voiced by Yeonjun Kim. And that is all the characters you will need to know for this video. Alright, so right off the bat in the movie, we kind of get a layout of what the story is basically going to be about. We learned that years ago, demons basically were all running all over Korea, I guess. All around Korea. I'm assuming like all of Korea, like both north and south, back when the demons actually were at their high point, because that would probably be before Korea split into two different countries. But basically, and they had a king named Gima, who literally is nothing more than like a mouth made of fire. It's crazy how he's actually a pretty good villain, despite being nothing more than a mouth made of fire. But here we are, and the reign terror all over the place. Until one day, a trio of women with really good singing voices show up, and they would sing songs of courage and hope, and it make the demons back off, and it created something called a Hanmoon, which is basically like a shield protecting Earth from the demons, like protecting our world from the demons. And with every generation, there'd be a new band trio of these women who were called the Hunters, and they would work to strengthen the Hanmoon until one day we can get the Golden Hanmoon, which will close the barrier between the demon world and our world forever. And so this leads us to present day with the Huntrix, with the band Huntrix, made up of Rumi, Mira, and Zoe. Now, currently, they are about to perform for a show, and things are getting crazy, because they have a lot of fans. They're like a top band in South Korea, I guess, in this movie. I think actually the number one top, if you look closely at Bobby's phone in the more beginning of the movie. Obviously, Bobby being like what is it called? Their agent? Yeah, like their agent, I guess. They only pay him 3%, which if you like research on how much like like music agents usually are paid from like this performers earnings, it's usually more like 10 to 20%. So this guy's doing so much for the Huntrix girls for only 3%. I feel bad for him, honestly. Bobby's such a sweetheart. Anyway, they are currently going past the show and they're playing. And they don't realize this, really, until they notice that the flight crew is acting weird, and that's when they realize, oh wait, these are demons. So one song later, they have fought off the demons, and are literally flying down to the stage where they show up, and they fight some more demons, and everyone's loving the show. They think it's special effects. And so this leads us into, after the show, Rumi is coughing, but like this doesn't seem big at first, it's just like, well, she is a performer, she's probably singing all the time, that could definitely, if you use your vocal cords too much, that could probably hurt your throat, so you aren't thinking too much about it, and at first, like, so yeah, at first that isn't really too much of an issue, but then they're going on vacation. But little do Mira and Zelly know, because they're excited for the couch, couch. Little do they know, Rumi decided to release their big song, the big one that's gonna make the Golden Honeymoon, and this song is appropriately named Golden. It's the one I said at the beginning of the video you hear on the radio, like the one song you actually hear on the radio. I'm pretty sure it's the only one that the singers from the movie, like the ones that gave the characters the singing voices, it's like the only one they're doing a live performance of. But anyway, and of course, as much as Zoe and Mira are like, we want a couch, obviously they're excited because everybody's already excited. And during what is basically like I guess the music video, where we get to see the music video from like the fans' perspective, the music video they get to see on their phones, we learn like after that little segment's done, I guess, we learn that Rumi has a big secret. She's part demon. She has the demon patterns because the demons have patterns. These like I guess they're purple or pink depending on if they're angry or not. Like on their arms and legs and just everywhere. Like she has those too. And this is when we learned that her dad was a demon, which considering the only demons we've particularly met so far, besides one little bit I have skipped over that I'll get back to in a minute. Don't worry, I just want to talk about the Huntrix girls real quick, then I'll get back to something that happened after the show. But don't worry, I didn't forget that. But basically her dad's a demon. Which makes me concerned about the mom, considering that we've only actually seen like 5 attractive demons so far, and a lot of them are funny looking, so I mean that guy must have one good personality. Anyway, like I said, there was only 5 actually super attractive demons, and these ones are Genu, and the other 4 Saja Boys, because earlier in the movie, like right after how it's done, that song is done playing, and they're done their show. I guess that's one song. That's a very short show. He suggests that since the plane trap didn't work, what if they go after what powers the honeymoon, actually powers it, the fans. And he suggests a boy band. And at first Gima's like, well, that's stupid, that's not gonna work. But then like these guys just get a little makeover, and like literally he just like Gino just snaps his fingers, they get a little makeover, and everyone's just like, oh yeah, that'll work. So just know incoming Saja Boys soon. I mean, you're wearing the shirt with the Saja Boys. And this leads us into what's basically the next section of the movie. Okay, so as I said earlier, Rumi's having some troubles with her voice, and this definitely shows up because when we see her, Zoe, and Mira rehearsing Golden for a live performance, like 10 minutes before the show starts, and she can't finish the lines because because of her voice, and she kind of runs out of there. Firstly, she goes to the bathroom and she kind of like zips it down a little and sees that the demon patterns have reached her throat, and she realizes, oh wait, it's kind of taking my voice. It's making me unable to sing, and so she kind of just runs away. she runs away, which kind of basically cancels the show that was gonna happen, and she's in distress, and she's thinking about the shame she has for being born half demon and stuff. Which girl, it's not your fault that your mom clearly has a type. I mean, just looking at the demons in the majority of demons in this movie, unless she happened, her mom happened to have met one that looks more like Genu and the other Forsage boys, then I mean, I don't know. But basically, later when she comes back to the apartment that she shares with Zoe and Mira, they kind of talk, and they're like, okay, so we need to figure out how to help your voice come back, because, Rumi knows that, my voice isn't coming back until we change something, until something's fixed. So, and Zoe brings up a doctor that has remedies, herbal remedies and stuff that could totally help. Totally not a scam, guys. Totally not a scam. Okay, well, Zoe's well meaning, but yeah, it does turn out to be a scam. Spoiler. Yeah, it turns out to be a scam. It sounded like I said exam. But basically, they go to the doctor, and this guy kind of this guy almost made me think of Patrick Jane from The Mentalist with how observant he was, because he's just right at Rumi. He's so many walls up. He was able to read these guys. He even was able to read Zoe and be oh, eager to please, maybe a little too eager. And then he doesn't even get to try and read Mira because she growls at him. But basically he ends up giving them a tonic. And so they go outside. They head home, I guess, and that is when they hear people coming down the road they're on, the empty road they're on, so they hide because, what if it's fans? Well, we're out in the open, we got Scottish Hills. They kind of hide underneath hoodies and hats and stuff. And then it just turns out to be 5, really, really, I guess, attractive guys. I say I guess because, the reaction that Mira and Zoe have, whoever idea it was for these girls to start crying popcorn, for Zoe to start crying popcorn and Mira to eat the popcorn, whoever's idea that was, animators, whoever idea that was genius. That was actually really funny. But basically, ultimately, they end up, Genu is, the only one that Rumi really has eyes for, because at first she's oh, you two are gross, because they're literally crying popcorn or whatever. She's okay, I don't think they were literally crying popcorn. I feel everyone would be very disturbed if they suddenly saw that, even in the K-pop Demon Hunters universe. But, basically, she only has eyes for Genu, but then Genu kind of brushes past her, knocks her over. She's falling. Oh, looks like he's gonna help her up. Nope, he's just a jerk. He's watch yourself. And that's when all 3 girls are suddenly turned off. And as they're picking up the spilled tonics or whatever, because, like I said, Genu ran right in the room. He was carrying a big cardboard box of these fake tonics, because, later we learned they are definitely fake. The doctor was kind of creepy. This movie definitely shows all the different kind of fans, especially, the creepy types of, fans. Which there are a lot in this movie. It's both funny and uncomfortable. But they hear music coming from, the big street. 'Cause I guess they're kind of in, what's kind of an alley, but, and it turns out these guys are a boy band! And, one Soda Pop song later, our three girls, the Huntrix, they noticed that these boys have demon patterns on their arms, like kind of appearing on their arms. And so they realize, wait a minute, these guys are coming for our fans. We have to kill them, which leads us into the next segment of the movie. Alright, so after the Soda Pop song, and that performance, these guys basically broke in the internet. Like, the K-pop Demon Hunters internet, not our real life internet, which it also did. Like, the whole movie overall did break the internet. But, yeah, so basically everybody's, like, just all over the Soulja Boys now and forgetting about Huntrix. Meanwhile, the girls are like, well, we gotta, And at the end of their performance, they had said they're gonna be going to a variety show that evening, so the girls know where to go to murder some demon boys. It's okay. They're demons. It's okay. No. Technically, it isn't. As I will continue talking about this movie, but basically, they go to the variety show. They're basically hiding, like, hey, look, when they come off stage, we'll kill them. And they're doing a hot sauce challenge to which Baby Saja wins. Go gaga. This movie is funny though. This movie is funny though. But basically, right as they were like, okay, so they'll be coming off the stage now, Gina's like, why? It's basically like, we have a special guest here, Huntrix. And, like, suddenly the girls, like, who are, like, up above the stage, like, they're kind of backstage, but also above the stage, and technically view, they were just like, oh, yeah, we're just here to congratulate them, for their debut, or whatever. And then Gina was like, and of course, play games with us, bring up the slide. Dude has taken over this variety show. And it's actually hilarious. And so basically, with no other choice, they go down the slide, basically get humiliated because they're wearing leather pants. And that noise was annoying. But basically, ultimately, after a bowing contest for, seeming respectful to the fans or whatever, because of course, when boys, boys are respectful, obviously all the girls in the crowd, they're like, oh my god, they're so high and respectful. So literally what two girls in the crowd were saying. Alright. Which I mean, real though. I can, a real. But basically, after this variety show thing, Soulja Boys are running for it, and they're basically running for it, all happy because like they did Huntrix, I guess. And they end up in the men's bathhouse, and Zoe just is casually so excited, like, yay, we finally get to go bathhouse with Rumi. And I say this because Rumi has been denying going there. Like, she denies invites to go with the other two to the bathhouse because obviously if she went to the bathhouse, she'd have to show off her patterns, and obviously, and like, although she would have, and on the topic of that, she would have told them about her patterns if Celine, who was in a band with Rumi's mother, the previous generation of hunters, if it wasn't for Celine saying, like, you gotta hide your patterns, and then once we got the golden moon, you'll be fine, because the patterns will be gone. Like, if it wasn't for what Celine was trying to say, like, Rumi probably would have confided in her two best friends. But, yeah. Celine's who raised her, by the way. But basically, at this bathhouse, the boys are there, and, and they basically, I guess they summon water demons because, of course, the Hamun is starting to break because of their popularity, the Soulja Boys' growing popularity, and Huntrix isn't, like, center of attention, I guess. Like, they aren't the ones, like, the fans are flocking to more to be brought together by them or anything. So, like, they're fighting the water demons, but Rumi chases after Ginu, and her outfit gets ripped, revealing some demon patterns, and so she notices, and she realizes, wait, Zoe and Mira are calling me. They need help. What? I don't want them to see my demon patterns. And Ginu notices this, and so he kind of like subtly helps her out by like we're just like basically, I say subtly, very lightly, by the way. He basically bear hugs her and like puts a cloth around her broken costume, like where the patterns are showing, and then she's like, oh, he helped me, and gets back into the fight. And one fight later, they head back to their apartment. Alright, so they're back at the apartment. Rumi's in her room alone when she notices a bird wearing a hat on the railing of her balcony. So Rumi goes over, she's like, that's weird. And suddenly the bird's just like, ah! And like, it has more than just two eyes, alright? There's like four extra eyes. And she's like, okay, wait, it's a demon bird. And like, obviously, being just a bird, she isn't immediately being like with a weapon or anything. So she's kind of just follows the bird. And she sees that a giant blue demon tiger is coming. By the way, these guys are Derpy and Sussy. And I know I did not mention them in characters you would need to know, but ultimately, I mean, the tiger and the most a tiger and bird ever really do in this movie is pass notes between her and her and Genu. So like that's literally it. So I know I didn't mention them, but anyway. Basically, the tiger gives her something that is an invite to meet up with Genu. And she's like, well, I'm not gonna meet up with him. And I guess then she realizes it the second later, she's like, wait a minute, I can use this chance to murder him. And so, because it's the demon. And so she ends up following Derpy and Sussy down the road. And she sees what looks like Genu just standing on a roof, just very still, just staring forward. She attacks what she thinks is Genu, just to learn that it's a mannequin. And then the real Genu shows up, and she starts swinging her sword at him. And he's just like trying to talk, be like, "Hey, look, I just want to talk about your patterns, okay?" And let's just say the exchange did not go well, but ultimately he just leaves, and she goes home, and time keeps going on. So, we basically get into a montage where Sasha Boys are still growing popularity and Huntrix is going down the charts, and eventually Huntrix decides, wait a minute, we need a diss track for the Idol Awards. Idol Awards is like the biggest thing of the year for Huntrix. It like really helps the Hanmoon, and they think Idol Awards is when the Golden Hanmoon will finally appear. So so the diss track, and they're struggling with it, and then basically this is basically a montage. Like we're going between a lot of things, like them fighting demons to protect everybody and stuff, and eventually they're like, Takedown, that's the name of the song. And Takedown, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna say right now, like the themes of like guilt and shame and stuff with like the demon markings, like I kind of like when I first watched this movie, I kind of interpreted it differently, a little differently than what than what it like flat out is, which is demon markings, like demon patterns. Like I kind of interpreted it a little differently, and this something that is really personal to me. And so like this movie kind of just really speaks to me on personal levels, and it's kind of part of why I like it so much, like this movie so much. But I'll get more into that later. And basically Huntrix decides that Takedown will be their Idol Awards song. I just realized that, like, I think the Sasha Boys, because they sing a song called Your Idol later. I wonder if that's partly the title, and, like, when it shows up in lyrics, it has anything to do with the Idol Awards title. Because it's like, I'll be your idol, or whatever. Like, okay, anyway, excuse me, I'm a little tired this morning, honestly. I usually am in the morning, so, basically, we've, still get more meetings between Rumi and Jinu. You know, we get one that she sets up where excuse me, we get one that she sets up where they kind of like an old like this elderly lady comes across them and she like thinks they're a couple or whatever, and this actually isn't like all that random because at one point they had like a meet and greet that like turned out to be both groups put together, and everybody seems to be shipping like certain Huntrix girls with one the Sasha boys. Like there's like Rujinu, which is obviously Rumi and Jinu. There's Zosteri, which is Zoe and Mystery, and there's I think it's like Romirabi or something like that, which is like I guess a threesome between Mira, Abby, and Romance. And then Baby's just not shipped with anyone. Like Baby's just Baby Sasha's just on his own, sipping on that baby bottle. He's weird. He's kind of weird, but like I like him. I mean, I'm wearing a Sasha Boys, so of course I like the Sasha Boys. But ultimately, we get to the third and final meeting, which I will discuss in the next section, like Rumi and Gina's final meeting on in the evening on rooftops. Alright, so in their third and final pre-Idol Awards meeting, we get a song. I guess it's kind of like a romance song, sort of, between Rumi and Jinu, and by the way, I'm skipping over discussing the songs themselves because near the end of this video, I will have a section just about the songs in this movie. So basically, let's just say, by the end of this song, they're holding hands. I mean, they do never kiss in this movie, and I wish they had, because, man, if Disney won't give us some romance, and no, I don't mean this guy, I don't mean the guy, the demon guy, I mean, like, romance, you guys know what I mean, like, if Disney won't give us Sony gives me a little more than just some holding hands and him dying for her later. Actually, that was actually really sad. No, that just although that is what made me want to watch the movie, but I'll get over that later. Basically, we get the song free, and ultimately, Jinu says, "You know what? Fine. I will make sure the Sasha boys lose tomorrow, and you guys can make your golden honeymoon and." Maybe I will be free after, because she tries telling him, look, you'll be, look, you won't have to serve Gima anymore if you're on this side when the Golden Moon is sealed, when that comes. Basically, he agrees, and then, right after she leaves, Gima summons him to Demon World, and Gima's just like, oh, haha, joke's on you, you really thought that you could be free of me? Ha ha ha. So silly. Such a silly Genu. You will be making sure I get a bunch of souls in the Idol Awards tomorrow. So, yeah. And also back to the romance between them. I feel like people are under the impression that this movie takes place in the course of only a few days. And so they're like, oh, it'll be so unrealistic if they're kissing by right before the Idol Awards. But that montage I was discussing where they're fighting demons and they're practicing their music and stuff, Hendrix practicing music, that's over the course of a few weeks. And even then, it would be I still think a few days would still be totally realistic for some people, it was just silly to me that the most they do is hold hands, even if it is typically supposed to be a kid-friendly movie. I say kid-friendly because when anybody says kids movie, you're acting like adults don't like animated movies sometimes, so I say kid-friendly. And besides, there is some dark stuff in this movie. Literally 2 minutes in, you just watch a demon get, sliced through at the waist. It's full-on murdered. I feel like that's quite something for a kids movie, if it's ultimately not that big to older audiences. But anyway, we get to the Idol Awards. And so basically we have the show, and Sasha Boys were supposed to be on stage first, but suddenly, they're not coming out. And so Hendrix is to go first, and they are going to perform Golden instead of Takedown because the song just didn't seem right to Rumi, and because like obviously with all her meetings and Genu and stuff, like she's been starting to see the demons in a different light because they're basically being controlled by Gima. Like they're being controlled. They do nothing but feel, as Genu said, and I can hear my dog sneezing. Anyway, yeah, my dog Cedric, he sneezed a lot. We should have named him Sneezy after one of the 7 doors instead of Cedric Diggory, but whatever. Anyway, so basically, they are to, they're singing Golden, and then while Rumi's on stage alone, some demons pretend to make it look like Bobby's being kidnapped. Bobby obviously being their agent, obviously. They're very kind agent, I will say, compared to like some real life music agents. Or I'm saying agent because I don't know if there's a different word, a more correct word. So I'm just gonna say agent. Because it makes me think of like like actors have agents or whatever. But Cedric, are you okay? Why are you sneezing? Cedric? Alright, he's not having a bark? Alright, well, I hear him sneezing a lot. But anyway, so while they're gone, suddenly Takedown is playing, and Rumi, not knowing what's going on, just is like, alright, well, I'll just play along until I can figure out what's happening. And, hi, Cedric! Alright, well, let's take a quick break. Say hi to Cedric. Let's say hi to Cedric. Come here. Come here. Hey, this is Cedric, for anyone who hasn't seen him before. Anyway, yeah. Alright, sweetie. Yep, you can sit down there. Alright. Anyway, so it is suddenly Mira and Zoe are on stage, though it actually isn't them. It's demons pretending to be them. And they start kind of like pushing Rumi around and stuff and pull her jacket off to reveal her demon patterns, which to everyone in the audience makes it look like they just had a public breakup, like the band just had a public breakup. And while Rumi's like on stage kind of freaking out, like Zoe, the real Zoe and Mira see her demon patterns and they get kind of freaked out and they kind of back off, and then Rumi's running away when she comes across the real Zoe and Mira, and she's like, wait a minute, how are you guys down here? You were just up there. Oh, wait. Oh, that wasn't you. Oh, thank God. But obviously, the two girls are feeling very betrayed by Rumi right now because she never mentioned she had demon patterns. So, basically they kind of take their weapons out, like they're gonna kill Rumi, I guess, which is very dark when you really think about it. Like they're literally about to murder their years long best friend just because she happens to have demon patterns, even though it's not like she's ever tried to hurt them or anything. So it's not like she's a demon in disguise, right, Cedric? Alright, right, Cedric? Alright, so Rumi kind of runs off and she goes find Genu. She's really mad, she's real pissed, and she's kind of like, "What? How could you do that? Please, you didn't actually do that. Did you? Hey, Romance! There's my kitty that's actually named after one of the Saja boys, if you just saw him come in. Alright, and Genu's just like, well, you know what? I never told you the truth about my past because earlier in the movie he had told Rumi that, hey, look, I tricked by Gima. I was 400 years ago. I was poor at trying to care for my mom and my sister. And then Gima spoke to me, and overnight I became a music legend or something. I even got to live on the king's grounds with my family. But eventually the demon patterns overtook me, and ultimately I was condemned to the demon world. But the real story is that his mom and sister never got to go to the palace grounds. In fact, they were worse off than before. for Jinu, left them for the palace grounds, and then ultimately is condemned to the demon world. And so this leads us to the last section of this movie. Alright, so the last section in the movie is since the Idol Awards are basically ruined, they were cancelled, and now the Saja boys can basically take over the world. See, romance is going to take over the world. Alright, you can go now. Alright, and basically Sasha boys show up on the big screens. I think this movie took place in Seoul, Korea, like Seoul, South Korea, like, which is very funny considering that that city's name literally sounds like Seoul. I don't think it actually means Seoul. I don't think it does, but it sounds like the word Seoul. So that's kind of funny when you think about the movie and how demons steal souls for Gima. But anyway, they basically are like, well, hey, we're so sad about the Huntrix breakup, but hey, to cheer everyone up, we're having a show. Like, come see the show. I actually would. And this leads us into Your Idol, and like, oh my gosh, I will talk more about that later though. But this kind of leads us into Your Idol, but kind of right before that, right before the Your Idol song like actually starts, like Rumi goes to see Celine at what I guess is a very important place for hunters. It's like, I guess there's like, it's a tree or something. I guess it's where like I think it's where hunter initiation kind of happens, like, because we kind of see something that looks like that in the beginning of the movie with Huntrix and Celine. But basically, like, Celine's like, hey, look, we can like cover her up again, and I'll go find Zoe and Mira, tell them, hey, it was an illusion by Gima to rip you guys apart and stuff. And Mira's like, look, no, I'm tired of hiding the demon patterns and being ashamed of them and stuff. So and so she kind of is just like, look, I'm actually happy that the Han Moon's destroyed, because I don't want that specific Han Moon. You know, basically the kind of stuff that this Han Moon was built upon, which I guess is like misunderstandings of demons, basically. Because the demons themselves aren't really evil. I mean, I'm sure there actually are some genuinely evil ones, like the other four Sasha boys definitely seem kind of bitchy, but basically, like I said, the Your Idol song happens, and this is when Rumi shows up, and she is starting to sing, and this kind of wakes up Zoe and Mira, who were in the crowd. Bobby's in the crowd too, by the way. Celine's like the only one in town not there, honestly. And they start singing with her too, and now they're fighting the demons that Gima's sending after them, because Gima is here at this stadium, this performance stadium, and the fight's going on, and then suddenly, Rumi's like running forward, and this is when Gima sends like full thing of like fire at her. She's like trying to hold it back, and she's like really struggling, but like Zoe and Mira are trying to get to her to help, but at the same time there's just too many demons, they can't go over to her. And this is when Jinu shows up and blocks it, and obviously this is very it's actually kind of sad. But this is also what made me finally watch the movie. But I'll say what exactly happens first. Like, Rumi's like, no, Gina, why are you doing this? You could have been free. And he's just like, oh no, you already helped me get free of Gima and all the guilt and shame I have, and he gave me my soul back. Now I give it to you. I don't know what the magic system is anymore, to be honest. Like, you could just give your soul to other people. I will say I would like to know how that works, but anyway, I know it sounds like I'm complaining on this movie, but ultimately I have nothing to truly complain about in this movie. Yes, I have some questions like on how some things work, but ultimately I don't want to have any complaints. But obviously, this basically Jinu's dead now. Jinu is dead. Bye bye Jinu. Bye bye Jinu. And I'm gonna say real quick before I continue with my summarizing that Jinu dying is what made me finally watch the movie, because I didn't watch the movie until like the fall season. It came out back in like the summer of 2025, but I didn't watch it until I think like October, because I was like, because like I'm so done with the movies that are coming out today because they all freaking suck. Like a lot of them freaking suck. So like I was kind of just like, oh, am I gonna want to watch this? Like, I mean, I think it's getting good reviews. Like I don't know, but then like I watched something that and it was like, yeah, and like the Genu, the boyfriend, the love interest, whatever, like dies at the end. Like I saw something that said that, like okay, maybe I will watch this. So I used my littlest brother, Luke, as a test run subject, and he said it was good, but that the demons were too scary for him. So I was just like, alright, I'll sit down and watch it. And I loved it. So yeah, I know. If they hadn't killed off Genu, I probably wouldn't have ever watched the movie, is basically what I'm saying. If I hadn't heard that the love interest dies at the end. Because, like, guys, if you don't, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the channel before, but to me, one of the best things about any fictional story is the death. It's like deaths in the stories. So like, that's why a lot of like kid friendly stuff. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of kid friendly stuff ultimately because like everything's like too safe. Like nobody dies, and like I know that like sounds horrible or whatever, but like I just don't know, death in stories just like they're kind of like some of the best parts for me. That's why like when I'm writing a story, because I am a writer, I do like writing. Like I'm not like a published writer yet or anything, but I do like writing, and like I will kill off characters a lot. Like you're like in my stories, the characters are lucky if they make it past 30 years old. I'm just saying. But anyways, that was a tangent. Anyways, so Genu's dead. Rumi now has his soul, which I guess made her more powerful or something. And like, so she's going off to defeat Gima. Meanwhile, Zoe's about to stab Mystery, but it looks like he teleported away. It seems Mystery could still be alive, because before she could hit him, he kind of disappears in the smoke that the demons will disappear in if they're teleporting. Like Genu's done this. Rumi even did this near the end of the movie when she left Celine alone by that big tree. Like, but Abby's dead. Like, Mira killed Abby, like, sliced up his abs because she's tired of seeing abs. And, I think Baby got away too. And I don't know about Romance. Like, I don't remember who seemed to have gotten away and who seemed to have also died. I'm actually... Yeah, Abby definitely died. I think Romance might have. Most likely it's probably Mystery and Baby who got away. But, yeah, anyways, finally Gima's defeated, and the Huntrix won, and all the fans are safe now. And the movie ends with, movie ends with Rumi finally going to the bathhouse with Zoe and Mira, and just technically it's a big thing for her because, like, honestly, they talk about the bathhouse a lot in this movie, and like obviously she never goes because if she were to go, like I said earlier in this video, like her demon patterns would be showing off. But now that the demon's gone and she doesn't feel the shame that she used to about demon patterns, they're basically not even there. Like, it literally looks like she just made some dumb decisions on getting tattoos at like 15 years old or something. That's literally how faded they are. It just looks like she got some dumb tattoos when she was younger. They basically leave the bathhouse, and at first they're excited for a break, maybe go to their couch. They never do get to spend more than 2 seconds on the couch this whole movie. Basically, but then they see some fans and are like, well, let's talk to our fans instead. And that's basically how the movie ends, them talking to this trio of girls, which had led to a lot of fan theories that these 3 girls they came across at the end of the movie are going to be the next, like, trio of hunters, even though there's no need for that now, because the Golden Hall Moon, but okay, whatever you say, fan theorist. But anyway, let's just get into the songs before I get into my final thoughts. Alright, let's get right into the music, which is literally one of the most popular things about this movie. Alright, first song is How It's Done, which is the song that Huntrix sings on the airplane in the very beginning. I like it, although it might be, besides Gina's Lament, which is extremely short and ultimately it can be ignored. It is probably I like all the songs in this movie, but this one's probably my least favorite because there is so much rap in this song. Like, it is K-pop, obviously. That's literally the genre of every single song in this movie. I mean, it's even in the name of the movie, K-pop Demon Hunters, K-pop. But there is too much rap in that, and I have such a hatred for rap. Blame a little twerp from North Carolina that I used to know. Anyway, yeah, I just hate rap so much. So, like, that one was a little lower than the rest. Gino's Lament. I wish this song was so much longer. Like, literally, he only sings for, like, 10 seconds in this song. But, like, I had to include it anyway. I wish it was longer. It's good. Like, I like it. It's just too short. I wish it was longer. I feel cheated. I was like something that could have been really fun. But Soda Pop is my number one favorite song in this whole movie. It is so fun. And then yeah, it's basically the Sasha Boys' first song that they sing when, like, after their initial encounter with Huntrix, after they got those fake tonics from the doctor dude that turned out to just be grape juice. Yeah, that's such a fun song, and also kind of speaks to me because I love soda. I know, like, technically speaking, I know, they're singing about the fans and how they're gonna drink up their souls or whatever, like Soda Pop, but I actually, honestly, I'm just like, yeah, my Soda Pop is literally just Diet Coke. You guys know, if you guys been on this channel before, you know I love Diet Coke, so, like, that's literally, you know. But also, next song is Golden. This is the one that we've heard on the radio everywhere. They play it so much in this movie. I wish they didn't play it as much as they did. As much as this song is amazing. Like, it's definitely on the same levels as, like, Let It Go or We Don't Talk About Bruno by, like, Disney. Like, Golden's definitely up there. Actually, like, honestly, yeah, it's definitely up there with, like, great, like, pop songs or whatever. Like, I wish they didn't play it as much as they did in the movie. Like, they did overplay it, I have to say, but I love it. Takedown. This song's kind of dark for a kids movie, but I like that. And there are some lines that kind of speak personal to me for some reason. Like, hold up, if I, like, search up the lyrics real quick, I know the line I'm thinking of, but I might get some of the words wrong. So, Takedown lyrics. What's the one I'm thinking of? Like, well, alright. Like, how can you sleep or live with yourself, a broken soul trapped in the nastiest shell? Like, I will get to that later, like, how that kind of, like, speaks personal to me because of the way I interpreted the movie personally when I first saw it, and every other time I've watched it. As much as I love this movie, I think I only watched it 5 or 6 times, so... But I listen to music all the time, though. I do listen to music all the time, so, I mean, anybody who thinks, like, I'm watching the movie all the time, like, I'm obsessed or whatever, like, I only listen to music a lot. Like, I only seen the movie, like, a few times, actually. Anyway, Takedown, yeah. Kind of dark, but I like it. Like, yeah, it's, and, like, I have seen some people complain that, like, oh, it seems like such a dark, like, mean song for the Huntrix to sing, because, like, they're supposed to be the good guys or whatever. But to me, like, I see no issue with that, because the point of the song is to show what Zoe and Mira specifically, and Rumi too, I guess, but by this point, like, Rumi is rethinking everything she's been taught about the demons. Like, this is supposed to be a reflection of everything the girls have been taught about demons. They have basically been raised, well, or at least Rumi was, because obviously Mira and Zoe weren't aware of the demons till way later in life, but Rumi's been raised to hate the demons, to think they're terrible, which led to her shame of having demon patterns, obviously. And Zoe and Mira have been taught that the same thing, that demons are terrible. So, like, obviously the hatred's gonna grow. I think actually a line in the song said. Anyway, next song is Free, which is the duet between Ginu and Rumi, and I like this song a lot. Like, there'll be, like, a lot of things, and, like, especially, like, in movies, where it'll be like, oh, you know, oh, now that I've met you, everything's magically fixed. But this song is not like that. Instead of saying like, oh yeah, I met you and now all my personal problems are just magically fixed. Yay. Instead of that, Rumi is like, and Gina too, technically. Rumi's basically like, hey, I now that I've met you, I feel like, I feel connection. I feel like I can finally face those personal issues that have been tearing me apart on the inside. I feel like I can finally face those. Like, that's basically what the song is. It isn't like magically fixed. It means I could finally work to fix them. Like, and then next is Your Idol, which is my second favorite song in this movie. By the way, Free was my third favorite. Your Idol is my second favorite. I love this. This has to be one of my favorite villain songs ever. I love Your Idol. In fact, it's the one I usually use when I make edits of my cat romance on my Instagram account. When I make little videos of like my cat romance, I usually put Your Idol in the background. Romance is a little bit of a jerk, actually. He's kind of a jerk. He attacks the other cat sometimes, like, and because of his fur color, my best friend Sunny called him a white supremacist, but whatever. I think it's more like territorial, like he's a male cat, obviously. But anyway, we'll get back into this, And the final song is What It Sounds Like. I already said I like all the songs, so I don't know why I keep being like, I like this song, when I already made it clear I like all of the songs in this movie. But I liked it. Actually, I sang the first few lines at the beginning of this video. But I think it was a nice song, because like Rumi's like, and the other two girls too, they're like, everything's falling apart, but that's okay. We can still, like, we can still keep going. Oh my god, I just saw Romance. Romance, what are you doing? Why are you hugging the door frame? Alright, whatever. So basically, yeah, I like that song. So let's just get into my final thoughts. Alright, my final thoughts on this movie. I give it a score of 10 out of 10, which makes this the second movie on my channel to ever get a 10 out of 10 score. The first one obviously being 1953's Peter Pan. I just really like this movie. The music's good, the story is good. Could they expand out some things? Yes, but ultimately, I feel like I can ignore a lot of it, and I have said that the whole thing with like the demon patterns and the guilt and the shames, like those themes or whatever, like I already said that those kind of spoke really personal to me, because I personally interpret it in a kind of different way. And like, the demon patterns, how like the characters, like particularly Rumi, like try to cover up with jackets and stuff. It made me, and dark warning, it's a trigger warning alert, by the way. I'm about to get a little dark here, and I don't even like talking about this part of my life, but I will momentarily, so you guys can at least a little bit understand how I personally interpret that part of the movie. It makes me think of, it kind of made me think of like cutting, and like, like wearing long sleeves to hide it and stuff, and like, feeling like the shame of like what I did, or like guilt for what I did, even though it's not totally my fault. That's kind of how I interpret it in a way, and I know that's like really dark, even darker than this movie is actually, but that's just how I personally interpret it. So anyways, yeah, I'm not gonna get any more into that. One, because it is very dark, and two, because like I said, I hate talking about that part of. No, so I'm not about to get too much into that. So I'm just gonna finish the video here. So if you guys enjoyed this, like and subscribe, comment below, whatever you'd like to comment. What's your favorite songs? Favorite characters? My favorite characters were Gino and Rumi. I obviously related to Rumi, and Gino, I liked Gino. You can see my cat romance. Oh yeah, and about romance, real quick, like, obviously I just said that Gino is one of my favorite characters, which obviously puts him above romance, the character, and And to be clear, like when I got romance, like when I was gonna get a cat for Christmas, and like that was gonna be my big present for 2025's Christmas. And I said if I get a cat with light fur, like a light fur, which obviously he has mostly white fur, you know, I will name him Romance. If I have a cat with dark fur, I will name him Mystery. And ultimately, Romance is the one I took home. His original name was Shepherd, by the way. Yeah, he's the one I ultimately took home. So yeah. Anyways, if you like this, make sure to like and subscribe, comment, whatever. Also, my socials are in my channel bio, my Instagram and my Discord, so make sure to check those out. When I reach 50 subscribers, I plan on opening a Discord server, so make sure to go check that out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys another day. Bye now.